The maritime dimension is becoming more and more important in security. We have terrorists who are transiting by sea. We have more and more energy in the world, like oil or liquefied natural gas, which is transiting by sea. We now have more military activities on the seas. And so for NATO in particular, the seas are a key dimension of security. But of course, you can't have maritime security unless you have port security, because ports are where terrorists get onto ships, and ports are where terrorists get off of ships, or weapons of mass destruction, for example, in the case of North Korea. So the interface between the seas themselves and the ports are absolutely vital. Another thing which I'm particularly interested in is the cyber dimension. You have, for example, often diamonds and very important products and goods that can stay in terminals for many, many weeks in ports before they are transported to their final destination. And in NATO, we've seen many instances of organised crime, of theft, of things in ports, which they could be weapons, for example. They can be, important sort of data as well. And so the security of the ports for that transitional period is important. And ports always are often where you get the sort of involvement of several actors, the customs people, the police, the military maritime, the Coast Guard, the health and safety people, the people who are dealing with cyber defence. And sometimes these people can work in stovepipes, different cultures, different techniques, different methods, and we need to make sure that they are working in a so-called joined-up approach, which of course is the one that's going to ultimately provide for the best security. Maritime port security is now fundamental for NATO's logistics, and the dialogue with the Africans here or the Middle East is a good exchange of information. Let's talk about our experience. Let's talk about your experience. Let's have your lessons learned. We can learn from each other. Best practices, best techniques. We can see where potential vulnerabilities could be as well. Bismarck, the great Bismarck, he once said, "Only an idiot learns from his own mistakes. The wise man learns from the mistakes of others." So in other words, if we can all learn from each other's mistakes, we can stay ahead of the threat.